everyone, Heather here. Welcome to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day is an adventure in my kitchen. And that is the truth. So at this very moment, I have apple fritters in the oven because I did a recipe yesterday and someone asked if we could do it in the oven. So I'm trying it out, and the first ones have already come out and they look great. So that's gonna be a resounding yes. And today we are going to do Chrissy Teigen's banana bread, but we're going to do it gluten-free because I can't have gluten and I want to see if it works. And the reason we're going to do another banana recipe is because bananas seem to over-ripen quite a bit in our house. And I had 7 sitting on my counter, right, ready to go. And then I saw a video where someone else tried the recipe, but they tried it the normal way. And it was fascinating. So I decided, well, heck, why not? I have everything in my kitchen to do it. So let's do it. So without further ado, this is Chrissy Teigen's banana bread recipe, gluten-free. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna mash up our bananas. Now, I hate mashing bananas, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little egg slicer plus here to make my bananas into small little slices first before I mash them up. And basically I'm just putting pieces of banana right in to my egg slicer here and pushing it right through, and it makes super quick work of slicing up. No, that one's so squishy, that one's not gonna have any problem going through. But the rest of them, and you can see I'm kind of making a mess of it because it doesn't really matter, they're gonna be mashed up anyway. If I was making these like sliced for dessert pizza or something, I would totally take more care in how I was slicing them and not mashing them and making my slicer all disgusting, but it doesn't matter because I'm just gonna mash these anyway. All of the bananas are now in chunks, besides the really squishy one. That one was nearly black when I found it, which is why I knew it was time for me to make some banana bread. And this banana bread may or may not go in the freezer, depending on how good it is. Let me just rinse off. And I think they'll go in the freezer because I've just made 5 batches of apple fritters, gluten-free apple fritters. And so we have baked goods galore in the house right now. In fact, I need to take one out of the oven now. Check it out. These are the baked gluten-free apple fritter donuts. They are amazing. All right, now we're gonna concentrate here again. So now I'm just going to squish my 6 bananas all together. And because they're in smaller chunks, I am not gonna have to work so hard at getting all of these smashed. You'll have to pardon my dishwasher since I've made 5 batches of gluten-free, dairy-free donuts. I needed to run the dishwasher. And baking waits for no man. No dishwasher either. All right, so once we get these kind of mashed, I'm gonna switch from a bamboo spoon to a Pampered Chef. Oh yeah, much better. Now I can squish. This is a mix-in scraper. Oh, I love it. All right, so I'm gonna call that good for now. All right, now we're gonna add 4 eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're gonna just stir it in again. And we're just gonna stir and mash each time we add something to it, because we want things to be incorporated really well. There's a dang gnat in here, so if you see it in the camera, I am so sorry, but that's what happens when you have overripe bananas in Northern California. All right. Now we're gonna add 2/3 of a cup of canola oil. We're gonna mix that well and let that sit for just a second. All right, the next thing we want to do is we want to mix our 2 cups of flour and 2 cups of sugar and our pudding mix. Oh yeah, so the reason I wanted to try this is because number 1, it had pudding in it, and number 2, it had coconut in it. I love coconut, I love pudding, so this has got to be a win. We'll find out. Okay, I hope I picked the right size bowl, because it just said in a separate bowl, so I figured this was gonna be the smaller bowl. Okay, 1 box of pudding mix, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt. That's it. All right, so now we're gonna give that a little mix. I'm gonna stir that together. Hopefully we didn't have to sift it or anything. All right. Yeah, I should have used a bigger bowl. It's not gonna be very well combined. Okay, it's an adventure, that's for sure. Okay, and now we are going to add the dry to the wet, not the wet to the dry. So we're just gonna slowly add. And the recipe says do not use the hand mixer because they didn't like the way it came out when it was overbeaten. So that is some good things to keep in mind. So please don't do it. Don't do it. And I am using the Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 baking mix. So I've used cup for cup and some of the other ones before. Trader Joe's is one of my favorites. I like the flavor of that one. But this one just happened to be on sale this week, so this is what I'm using. I can never keep clean when I'm making things. I always tell people that if you're not making a mess, you're not having fun, and if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. So feel free to make a mess. All right, looking good. All right, let's get the rest of that flour mixture in. Because I didn't do a very good job mixing it at first, I will make sure that I mix it a little more than I need to here. And this has made a ton of batter. The original recipe actually calls for making it in a bundt pan, which I have a bundt pan, but it's a small bundt pan. So instead, I'm gonna make them in individual loaves, which we love our little individual loaves. They're like this big. I'll show you. Now we need to fold in the coconut, so 1 cup of coconut, and the chocolate chunks, which I had a huge dark chocolate bar left over from another event, and I just chopped what I thought was 3.5 ounces. We'll see if I did an okay job. So, all right, we're just gonna fold it in, and folding is not mixing. Folding is just kind of stirring and turning. So we don't want to over mix. So this is a fold. Picking up and turning. Picking up and turning. Okay, that looks properly folded in. All right, here comes the fun part. Our cute cute little individual bread pans. I don't even know where I got these from, but they continue to be my favorite pan to bake small loaves of bread. Okay. I'm gonna get some coconut oil spray. I don't usually have to spray the insides of these tins, but it says to spray, so I'm gonna do it. Especially because gluten-free tends to want to stick. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna get my large scoop so I can get these evenly inside. I'll do 2 scoops to start with. I like using the scoop because it's the same for each scoop. So I can measure out my batter very easily and make all of my cakes exactly the same size when I'm baking large quantities. So then I know how much I need and how much I have. All right. So it looks like we're gonna do 1 more scoop for each. All right, now that they're evenly filled into the oven, they're going to go on 325. And this says for 55 minutes if you're doing a whole bundt pan, but since these are smaller, I'm gonna check them at about 20 minutes and then I will decide from there where to go. See you in 20 minutes. All right, it's been 40 minutes and it's time for them to come out. Oh yeah. Look at those. They look so delicious. At 20 minutes, they were not nearly done. At 30 minutes, they were about halfway done. At 35 minutes, this small one that didn't quite get as much batter as everything else, I went ahead and pulled that one because it was awfully brown. And then at 40 minutes on the knob, we have perfect. So we're gonna let them cool for a few minutes and then we will remove one to taste. All right, I've tipped all of these out and they've been cooling for a few minutes, and now comes the real test, the taste test. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to try this bread recipe was number 1, it had dark chocolate, and number 2, it had coconut in it and pudding. But really just first and second. The pudding one was a little, okay, I've had other breads before with pudding in it, but never had this kind of bread, like Amish friendship bread. Do you remember that bread? It always had pudding in it. So here we go. Let's try it out. All right, which one? Let's try this one. Oh yeah, this looks great. Still a little warm, so it's gonna be a little crumbly. Again, my dishwasher is in the middle of a cycle. Oh my goodness, so good, so moist, so delicious. All right, let's take a piece. See that? Looks so good, so moist. The directions said to put some salted butter on it, so salted butter we shall. That's way more butter than I needed. All right. I mean, I think I needed another piece. It's good. But I don't know. I mean, it's nothing that I've never tasted before. I mean, it's not something that I've never tasted before. It does just taste like banana bread. The consistency with the pudding is interesting because it makes a very soft and light bread. But would I make it again? I might. It just depends on if I felt like buying pudding. I don't usually buy pudding. I just happen to have pudding. So we're gonna try another piece. Actually, I should have tried some without butter. Well, it's good. It is really good, but I don't know that it is so good that someone would need to just try it. So if you have a good banana bread recipe, stick with that. But this does work I mean, it's good. It is good. But I almost prefer my banana muffins over these. You can't really taste the coconut inside of it, which is odd to me. You can taste a little bit of the chocolate, and the pudding kind of like lingers around your mouth, but it's good. It's not bad. I mean, it's actually pretty good, but maybe I've had better. I've had better. So anyway, that was our adventure for today. I just wanted to see what all of the kerfluffle was about. And I did, and it's good bread, especially gluten-free. Maybe it's even better when it's not gluten-free. But this gluten-free bread is excellent. But I've had excellent gluten-free banana bread too. So, oh well, that's what makes this an adventure. So I hope you'll tune in next time. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. All right, I'm going to take my coffee, and I'm probably going to take the rest of this banana bread and go check the internets. Bye.